Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all those things we did not get to during the course of the show today. I do need to bring up, we talked about the sign that I put on the new boss's door, right? On the Aftercast?
Yes.
Okay, we talked about all that.
Yes.
I do want to point out that he still has the sign up.
Well, because you made such a big deal about it. You're like a kid from kindergarten that's like, Daddy, look what I made.
I know, and has said that he's going to leave it up for a while because he found it that funny. Yeah, because in the case you missed it, the sign was his name, welcome, that HR sent a sign, and I made another one, like, copy of it, but it was welcome, and then all the people that have left before him with their names X'd out, and then him. And then we had a meeting with him yesterday, and I'm like, I'm pulling for you. I hope you make it.
Well, and I think I forgot to tell you this on Instagram because you posted it there.
Yeah.
Steve, the guy that we used to work with, used to have that job,
He was
whose
the
name
last
was
name.
on the list, and you marked it out. Steve commented on it, and he was like, that Steve guy, he must be the worst guy ever.
That's funny.
So I commented back, and I was like,
shortest reign as the boss.
He did have the shortest reign. That job, I think the longest has been about 3 years, almost to the day. 2.5 tends to be the average. But yeah, Steve had the shortest at like 3 months, but then he left. So, it's a tough job. It is a very tough job. This new guy seems pretty cool. And so I hope that for his sake that he will have a long tenure here, because that's good for all of us. And in case he's listening to the Aftercast, don't know if he listens yet. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
He keeps the sign up. Maybe it's for the joke. Maybe it's for, you know, to remember.
It's a reminder.
It's a big
work hard.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to some stuff here. The movie Armageddon, where a ragtag group of amateur astronauts blow up an asteroid before it can destroy the Earth, was not as far-fetched as we think.
Don't wanna close my eyes. I don't wanna fall asleep 'cause I miss you, girl, and I don't wanna miss a thing.
Now, we always talk about Armageddon, and we sing the song, and it had a young Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Steven Tyler's daughter, and who was great, by the way. I've seen the whole thing multiple times. Betty Rock, you obviously have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it like once.
Gavin, you're young. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think I've watched that one all the way through.
Okay. I don't know if it stands the test of time. Like, it's a good movie and everything, but I'm curious if I went back to rewatch it now, would the effects land and things like that?
Yeah, there are some, I think, sci-fi movies from like the pre-crazy digital era that do have certain things that stand up to the test of time, but the ones that went like over the top, like it's interesting to rewatch Star Wars. Yeah, and you just are like, man, these are bad
effects,
but like good for the time.
But at the time they were great. Yeah. Well, Oppenheimer. Remember I told you the story how my niece. I don't know if it was here on the podcast on the regular show, but my niece had said she was not going to go see it because they detonated a nuclear bomb. Like, what in the world? You're 23. No, they didn't detonate a nuclear bomb. But what they did do,
that stuff doesn't happen.
Was it's like you would have killed people. But what they did do is they didn't use CGI. They actually exploded. They did a controlled explosion, and they had put all these things in the mix so that it would give it that feel of a nuclear bomb.
The director Christopher Nolan is like famous for not using a lot of special effects in his movies. I read this story about how in one of his movies they planted an entire cornfield for this, driving through a cornfield scene. Yeah, they planted it and then he sold it and made a profit off of it.
Oh, nice!
So it's like that. I mean, it's just a good business move on his part, for at least for that specific situation.
There was some movie recently too where they went through a graveyard with a truck and it bashes through this graveyard, and they had made 1,000 gravestones.
Oh, cool!
For this to look like it, and it looked, genuine. I was like, man, did they do that in CGI? It's like, no, they did it like real because they made all those things.
There was a scene from the recent Mission Impossible movie that we were watching where we're like, oh yeah, he rides a motorcycle off of a cliff, and I originally was just like, I think that was CGI, and it wasn't that it was CGI. It was just that they built this. He did jump off of it, but they built a ramp out, and I think they kind of like layered that to beat. But he still rode off of a cliff and then pulled his parachute. So.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, they just took out the ramp. It is amazing what they can do CGI. I like real stuff though, typically. Yeah. I still haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. But anyway, all of that to say that the whole Armageddon thing might not be as far-fetched as we thought. There was an asteroid that was near Earth, and so I don't think it was going to hit Earth, but they wanted to test their deterrent system. Oh. So it's called the Double Asteroid Redirection Test Spacecraft, or DART for short. So it collides with this asteroid they call Dimorphos. It's a small asteroid that is the moon of a bigger space rock called Didymos, P. Didymos. And so it's going at about 14,000 miles an hour. They fly this spaceship into it, and it hits it, explodes, and then space debris comes off of it, and it's floating around. But it wasn't designed to explode the asteroid, but merely to change its orbit. And it actually did it. But what they didn't plan on was when it hit, there are all these pieces and fragments of space rocks now that were like 22 feet wide or whatever. But they were not from the explosion. They were on the surface of the asteroid. And when it was jolted, they became dislodged and went that high up to where they left the asteroid and were now floating in space. But they're all going the right direction. But it's crazy to think that they're at that point where, because every 10 years there's like a scare, like, oh, we got an asteroid passing near us. One day it's going to get us.
I think there was a story recently where NASA said that we were probably 1,000. We have like this 1,000-year gap where they don't expect any amount of like asteroid or like space rock to come towards us. So I mean, like, imagine 1,000 years from now, we should be totally good.
And I hate
or not here.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's not going to bother me. Like in 1,000 years, like, all right, whatever.
You probably have less than 50.
Less than 20.
Yeah.
50 was generous.
You don't want to live to 105.
I don't know.
Good night.
Dude,
no.
No. My grandmother lived to 103.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and just like, no. My mom is in good health. Like, I could see my mom kicking around for a long time, but me, no thank you.
How old is your mom right now? If I can ask that question.
You can. She is 81.
Ooh, this is bad.
I think she's 81 or 82.
Okay.
I'm really bad about the age thing. Like, so yeah, 81 or 82.
Okay.
I think. So anyway, Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, President Biden is having trouble at the White House, and it's not because, and it's not just
Walking
because
into walls.
Well, it's not just because of
Going
his
to the
son.
bathroom. I'm so sorry.
It's not just because of his son.
He's like
it's now
81 too.
also because of his German Shepherd dog.
Oh.
What's the dog's name? I forget.
Honey, he peed.
Commander.
Commander peed on the floor again.
He blames the dog. That dumb dog keeps peeing on the ceiling. No.
What?
Roof, floor. Ugh. It's gotten so bad, man. I'm sorry. I don't even care if you voted for the guy. It's gotten so bad. You have to be honest about that. You have to. Okay. Even if you love him, even if you're a Democrat, you have to be scratching your head. I get you, like, hey, I didn't want Trump in there. I get that. But you have to be going, what has happened? Like, how did you like go downhill so fast? And why? And why are you still here doing this?
Tough job.
Yeah, it is tough. So and why are you running again? Like, that's the craziest thing to me. I'm curious. I'm real curious. Before we get to the story,
right?
Yeah,
we need the bed.
I know. I'm just real curious. No, I'm not going to go nuts. I'm just real curious what the next year looks like. Is there a power play inside of the thing? Because he said he's running. And is there a world where he actually doesn't get the nomination? Do they declare him right before the election unfit kind of thing? Like, they were trying to do that to Trump. They were trying to say that Trump was unfit and mentally, and they were trying to impeach him because of that. That was one of the reasons. Mm-hmm. And so would there actually be a thing in his party to say, you're not going to step down. You probably will lose to whoever if we keep you. So we need to clear the deck so that we can have somebody that has a chance in there. And here you go, Michelle Obama. I think she would win their nomination in a heartbeat, and she might even win, you know. So this next year is going to be fascinating to me, because wait, we're in 23, so the election is a year and 3 months out, and so the next year starting soon. I mean, it already is. They'll have the conventions and all that stuff coming up. It's going to be fascinating this next year.
Wouldn't it be like? I thought it was the beginning of next year would be when we'd have our new president.
The election. No, that would make the election with everything in 23. The election is on the even year. It's in 24, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. And then he would be sworn in.
Was Biden sworn in 2021 then?
It's the first month. Yeah, in January, the first month. You have the election in that year.
My timeline's off in my head then.
Yeah. Because otherwise, like, we don't even have... Yeah, we don't have a Republican candidate done. That's going to be a year of all that.
Okay.
So yeah, there's no way.
My timeline's been off then.
Yeah, or I mean, that'd be crazy if I was that wrong, but it's happened before. All right, when she finishes that yawn, because we have bored her to death. Commander, where's that darn dog?
All right, I'll just start over.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
Dog.
Well, I didn't get far.
I know.
Yeah, that's our fault.
President Biden is having trouble at the White House, and it's not just because of his son.
Oh, she did
Hunter.
Start over.
It's also because of his German Shepherd dog, Commander. So, according to International Secret Service documents, he has bitten 7 people in 4 months.
Wow! Biden, no Commander.
And
I can see Biden doing that too.
And this came after Biden's first dog, Major, was booted from the White House over aggressive behavior.
So now he has that's right. I forgot about Major. Yeah, he got booted. I forgot about that. So now he's got Commander, and Commander's biting people. If this was anybody else, like if this was just you and you had a dog and it bit 7 people, they'd put the dog down.
Yeah.
100%.
After like 2 or 3 bites.
After 1 sometimes.
Well, one Secret Service officer had to be treated at a local hospital after Commander bit him on the arm and thigh. A few weeks later, the dog broke the skin of a different officer's hand and arm. One agent claimed he had to protect himself with a chair to avoid being bitten.
This dog should be like really well trained.
Yeah.
Like in my brain, like I get those dogs are like meant to. I'm sure. Yeah, they're meant to shepherd. Be protectors and they're meant to do all this stuff. But like those things are usually like really well dialed in. So that's surprising to hear how bad this dog is.
It's not as flip a switch tricky as pit bulls,
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
A rep for the First Lady, Jill Biden, spoke about Commander's behavior and blamed it on a unique and often stressful environment for family pets at the White House.
Yes.
That rep also added that the family is, quote, working through ways to make this situation better for everyone.
That's so funny. And if you're the president of the United States, there's probably a part of you that's like, my dog should be allowed to bite anybody it wants. Like the rules don't apply to me. Yeah. I'm the president. I would be the worst president because there's part of me that would think that, like, I'm the president. Like, all right, I'll bite you, and I should be able to get away with that. I think that's what every president, to some degree, thinks that. I
can see Trump thinking that.
Absolutely, he thought that. Absolutely, Trump probably thought that more than anybody.
Yeah.
But I think there would be such a power trip with that job. Why do you think a billionaire or a millionaire, I don't know what he is now, but Trump would want that job? Power. Ultimate power. And power over the country. Yeah, and legacy. Like, that's the stuff that your money, you're so rich that your money at some point gets boring.
I think presidents are a lot more like remembered than like the billionaires of this world. Like, I can't name like a lot of billionaires in the past. Like, I can name like super big ones, but like presidents, you'll never go down, or you'll never be forgotten.
No, it's legacy.
Even if it's for bad things.
You get a library named after you, or a street, So
or a tower.
It is a job that it would be so thankless because you cannot win, because no matter what you do, someone's going to be mad at you, and you're going to never please everybody. So it's a total no-win job. And that's what's interesting too, is you watch presidents get in and you watch them age. All their hair turns gray. Remember when Obama had black hair, and by the end of it, man, he was gray.
And George Bush Jr., he did that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. The stress of that job just ages you.
I do feel like Trump looks about the same these days, but I also think
he
that
dyes his hair.
He's color and stuff.
He's a lot. There's a lot of there's a lot of tanning and there's a lot of hair color.
He had to have put a tanning booth in the White House.
Either that or he gets a spray tan.
Yeah.
Wakes up every morning.
Can you imagine being the official spray tanner of the president? Like how horrible that job would be.
Yeah.
Spray tanning
You're like, can we make
79-year-old dudes?
Can we make this automatic? I don't want to.
Like the Ross and Friends.
Two.
That's a 4. You gave me an 8. Like that's such a great scene.
Trump, isn't he?
Lady Rock, what do you have?
I have some birthdays of people that celebrated a birthday yesterday. So I have Heather and Jeremy. I'm guessing that they're both the parents of Nate because Nate got a shout out.
Nice.
Heather said, Nate is creative, fun to hang out with, and helps us with all of our tech problems. Jeremy said he loves designing board games with his brother, 3D printing, and all things technological.
Nice.
He consistently beats me in chess, and he is not even cheating. I am proud he is my son.
That's awesome.
And then Caleb, he wants to wish his amazing brother, Nate, a happy birthday.
Nate's popular.
At the age of 15, he's already the chief innovation officer of a small business that makes board games and recyclable frisbees. He loves trying new things and having fun around the house. All right, so
that's crazy.
Caleb has a would you rather question.
Okay.
Would you rather, when it rains, it also rains in your house, or every time you leave your house, a bucket of milk falls on top of you? Which do you choose?
The milk.
You got to take the milk because at least you could go in and get dry afterwards.
Yeah, or just like have a towel ready at work or have a towel ready or like change of clothes. But you would have to shower.
Make a cereal bowl hat. So that as you walked out, it just filled your bowl up and then you eat your...
But then again, if it rains in your house every time it rains outside, you could just get yourself an umbrella and a blow-up pool.
What about the rest of your
your electronics?
You just don't have any.
No,
or you get waterproof ones.
Yeah, you might as well live underwater at that point. I would not want that.
21st century.
Well, you would have mold and
that's
maybe the milk is the best idea.
I think that you figure it out with cereal. Because then you have breakfast every morning. You don't have to purchase milk.
Okay, big cereal question here.
I'm excited for this.
Do you pour all your milk first or do you pour your cereal first? Cereal first, and you fill the milk up to the right level you want.
I know what you do.
Okay, Betty Rock.
Milk first, then cereal, because I want it crunchy.
I work with psychopaths.
Yeah, I know. I always did it your way. My whole life growing up, I always did it, and I eat as fast as I could. But then I'm like, my daughter or my wife one day was doing the other. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, this way it stays crunchy. So you pour the milk first, then you just put a little bit of cereal in. Every bite's crunchy, and
that's
then
what
the next
eating
one.
fast is for.
I know, but like
second bowl.
I'm a convert. That's how I do.
I'll have to try it sometime.
The only thing that I don't like doing that with is Raisin Bran, because Raisin Bran I like putting the whole bowl in, dousing it with sugar,
I like
milk
to
it.
put the Raisin Bran
You and
extra
Biden,
yeah.
I need the fiber.
I gotta get things moving. Oh yeah.
Good times.
All right, well there you go. That's gonna do it for your Aftercast. Thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.